Jose, tell people a little bit about yourself, your full name, and what do you do? What's your instrument did you play?
My name is Jose Ramon Santana Jr. I am Hispanic. My parents are from Cuba, and I grew up playing drums, especially a lot of jazz drums and a lot of bebop. And I grew up playing that in middle school, and whenever I was in middle school, I also took lessons in the actual school I was in. 2 years of guitar lessons.
And tell me a little bit about your experience with the Producer's Heart and Soul.
First of all, very good and very positive place to be at. A lot of hard work, just like anywhere else, and just learning the ropes and how to be patient and how to work hard every single day.
And can you elaborate a little bit about your experiences recording with different artists and what your job is?
What I experience with other artists is their styles and their vibes that they bring up to to the plate, and to put me at a situation where I have to break through my shell and learn more and stand up for myself and actually learn different styles and different techniques, and also learn a lot more music theory and styles, because they can be one Latin groove, but in reality there's dozens of Latin grooves, and that's one thing that I believe that everybody should learn, is every single type of style there is on this planet.
Very nice. And tell me a little bit about how do you feel about music? Do you find music, I mean, some people tend to believe that music is easy. Do you feel that way?
No. I believe that music is something that has to be within you, like born within you. For example, if you were born in a family that was involved in music ever since your great grandfather or your great great grandfather, it's in the blood. My great grandfather played guitar in Cuba, and he had his own little radio station show. He played in Cuba guitar, and then he traveled on to my my grandmother, and she sang and danced in school, and she was a very good singer. And then it traveled on to my uncle. He was a DJ and also a trumpet player, and my dad was also a DJ. And then it came to me, and I just started playing drums because I felt something about drums, that to be that important in a band as a drummer. It's something that kind of the gravity just pulled me towards it, to be a drummer. And also watching my great grandfather at a young age playing guitar right in front of my face, I was blown away, and I had to learn. And that's where I took the time and really strapped down and learned the guitar.
So your experiences in the studio, you've actually at a very young age have played with a lot of famous people. How do you feel about that?
I feel very blessed, first of all, and very fortunate to be playing around these kind of people, because they're just like me and you. We're not too different. It's just that they have this soul, this spirit to connect through music, and really show a lot of emotion through notes. And showing emotion through notes is not a very easy thing at all to do. You have to really have a lot of experience to know what chords and what other progressions can make people feel a certain way.
Right. So you would agree that there is a spiritual connection with music. Do you believe that?
Yes, I do believe that.
Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
I have to say, if you want to write a song and make it happy, you have to feel happy. You have to use certain chords to make it happy. Major chords and also sevenths. That they sound funny, but they're also happy at the same time. It's just the experience of studying music theory and also history of classical music, how they use major to minor, and seventh notes and ninth chords, and also susses and all different kinds of progressions, how they use it in combinations to make you feel a certain way. And that's to me, that's something not easy to master. And once you figure that out, you can move a crowd of people. Like like it wasn't even your business. You have that kind of power to make people feel a certain way through just music itself, not just lyrics. It's a very powerful thing.
So, you've had a pretty intense experience, recording all these projects with the producer's heart and soul. Yeah. Do you think it was valuable to you to learn so many different styles?
Oh yes. Especially playing with Ed Werner. I learned waltzes and very slow waltzes and fast ones, and also different time signatures and songs, and playing along with Ed sometimes, off recording, just him on guitar, and learning some of the things that he knows, and being very motivated. Seeing Ed Werner play piano is a thing I had never seen before in my life. I really want to learn how to play piano, and that's one of the biggest motivations with me and Ed Werner, that he can just play the piano like nobody else. And also John Seda, how he uses his vision to see something that nobody else can see within chords and choruses and verses, and the way they put songs together. That's also something I learned from Mr. John Seda.
So you your experiences with Ed, covered a lot of different styles. We've worked on country, rock, and
in country, Latin,
jazz, and stuff like that. So I guess you could say that's kind of opened your palette for music for different bands that you've been working with right now.
Yes, indeed, yes. Also, being being brought to light these old artists that really shined a whole new world for me to listen to. Like, I don't know if I can name off a couple artists that I listen to right now. They're not big bands. Let's say Jim Croce and Don McLean. That was one of the two that I was asked like a few years ago, hey, do you know Don McLean? And I said no, and then they're like, and they couldn't believe it. And then I went and checked out Don McLean, and it was the most beautiful pieces of music I've ever heard. Next to of course Mozart and Beethoven and the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, of course, and that's one thing that I really learned from them. Learning their generation of music.
So, what would you like to say something to the young artists right now that are up and coming? Maybe something that might inspire them.
Yes. Listen to older music, especially classical, because if you listen to classical music, it's very complicated, and once you listen to it, it's not like any other music on this planet. Classical music, it's very, very sensitive and very touchy-feely of how they're written, because the people that written that kind of music were born without internet and technology and nothing like that. They just used straight piano and their mind power and their will and their talent to write out a whole entire symphony on paper and pencil and a piano, and that was it. That's something that I really do admire in music. And also be original. Always be original. That's one thing that I learned at a young age, is to always come original. I don't know if you know 311, but they have a song called Come Original, and it's very true.
So, say goodbye.
Bye bye.